What if I told you that Medieval II Remastered is absolutely going to happen? Well, I know exactly what you're thinking. I do.
Not all of us get a second chance.
Did I guess it right? Or have you watched Admiral Price and Melker already? I'm gonna be honest. Very well done, CA. You almost fooled me, but I can see through your plans. Just give me Medieval Remastered, Medieval 3 and Empire 2, and don't play games with us, CA. Just develop them and shut up and take my money. Long story short, I'm just about to give you my take on the whole thing and fall on the Total War conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I mean, the absolute truth of the Total War franchise in the future, of course. First off, I want to say that I agree with Admiral Price on how careful the wording behind CA's answers were. I really hadn't looked at it like that, and a mini epiphany happened in my brain, but it's also true that on the trailer for Rome Remastered they allude to the fact that not all games would get a second chance. That doesn't necessarily mean that Rome would be the only one, since the classics are 4 games, and if you remaster 2, you can still say that not all get a second chance, because 2 out of 4 did. Anyway, I do believe it's too risky for CA to remaster 2 of the most cherished games in the Total War franchise and then release Medieval 3. Because if that game doesn't meet expectations, they risk losing the loyalty of the historical fanbase for good. Although they would take the fans' money in the process, at the same time it'd also be the last time a historical title would be financially successful. Well, not the last one, but for a while for sure. And the reason why I feel it's unlikely that a Medieval 3 will succeed, it's not really because I think CA won't be able to make an amazing game, because I actually believe them. It's just because I think the players will put unreasonably high amounts of hype and hope and expectations on it. It'll be the hype that will kill Medieval 3. And releasing Total War Rome Remastered, then Total War Medieval Remastered, would absolutely shoot the hype for Medieval 3 through the roof, straight past the stratosphere, and possibly, just possibly, hit NASA's Perseverance rover all the way out in Mars. Am I saying that Medieval 3 will not happen? Not necessarily, because I do hope it does. It's a game I'm looking forward, and I think the risk outweighs the benefits for CA as a business to put it out right after the remastered version. Yes, they would probably make massive bank on the game, but if the launch goes wrong or the game isn't amazing enough, they'll just get massive backlash, and, you know, their future sales will hurt because of that. You can argue that going for Empire 2 would have the same effect. And it's a good point, but I don't think announcing Empire 2 after Medieval Remastered would have the same level of hype. And I'm obviously never wrong, so this is the absolute truth, ladies and gentlemen. Despite thinking there will be a Medieval 3, I don't think it will be the next historical title. Probably the one after it, and I'm still fairly confident Empire 2 will be the next major historical title, since the fans of the game are not necessarily fans of Rome and Medieval due to the fundamentally different nature of warfare. So while the hype will definitely be high, it might not be as high as Medieval, and as such, not as risky. I mean, pretty much what I already said, right? But here's the thing, and this is a very deep thinking of me, right? I am a philosopher, you know. Hype is always a double-edged sword, and one should direct it gracefully and respectfully. If you create too much or too little, your game will be in great peril. So, Total War Medieval, where have I seen that? Ah yes, the famous Melker Medieval leak. Yes, what to say about this? I think this is the key. See, ladies and gentlemen, Rome Total War changed its name to Total War Rome Remastered. So maybe Medieval Total War 2 will become Total War Medieval Remastered. As Admiral Price said, this will bring the historical community together. It will create brand loyalty and bring players together and all back into the old Total Wars, the good old games. And on the next year, boom, historical title. Empire 2 will hit the shelves, well, the virtual shelves, and it will hit us all with a bang. You know, pun intended, because cannons and, you know, muskets and all that crap. Empire will not get a remastered version, and it will have a proper sequel right off the gate. And then 2 years later, we might get either a new fantasy franchise or be graced with Medieval 3. Remember, the replayability and number of mods that would be created and remade for the remastered version of Medieval 2 would be absolutely insane, and it would get us hooked to the game for years to come. It would make a 3 to 5 years wait for Medieval 3 seem like nothing, and I think that's exactly the way they're going. It would also probably sell like crazy, especially now that Total War historical fans are excited about a remastered and will be hoping and hyped for a remaster of this amazing classic game as well. You see, this is just anecdotal, but most people I know who love historical Total Wars have bought or are going to buy Rome Remastered. If Medieval 2 gets the same treatment, the hype would be even higher for it. And since the player base for Medieval is more numerous, it would sell even better, ladies and gentlemen. So when would Medieval Remastered be releasing? Well, it'd be a feral interactive thing, so it isn't the regular CA release schedule. According to Admiral Price's findings, the first changes in Steam were done in 2018 and it finally released in 2021. Question now is Total War Medieval in production or yet to begin? Was it in production in 2018? Well, the Android version released in December 19th of 2018. So I would say production for the remastered must have started in January 2019. That means 2 years and a half of development until release. Okay, we now have a development time, but is Medieval Remastered already being developed or not really? Well, I would argue that it might be, but not in full swing. And I would argue this because it'll probably be the same team working on Medieval Remastered. And while pre-production and certain parts of the project might be getting built already, because the release of Rome Remastered draws near, I'm pretty sure that they have a lot of people just stress testing the game, addressing concerns from the streamers and players' feedback, as well as ironing out whatever edges and rough things they have on the game, and I believe this will continue for the next couple of months. I'm thinking that production on Medieval Remastered will only really begin once Rome Remastered is out and with a couple of patches. So let's say they start working on Medieval Remastered later this year. I believe that we'll get it by mid-2023. Maybe because they are now experienced on this engine, maybe they can actually do it mid-2022, but I wouldn't hold my breath, to be honest. So to recap, why do I believe we're getting a Medieval II Remastered? There is massive potential to bring the community together. Hype for it has already begun to mount, making potential sales very, very tempting, and it would create momentum for future historical titles. Total War Medieval has been trademarked by CA. When asked if there are going to be more remasters, they are not giving a straight or direct answer, and as such the possibility is definitely there. The hint on Rome's trailer might be to create an illusion and subvert expectations so that when it happens it'll be a huge surprise and a tsunami of hype will be generated with groundbreaking news. I am afraid, however, that Medieval II Remaster means that Medieval 3 will not be the next historical title. The hype generated would be too high, thus making it a very risky release. And that's one more reason as to why I believe Empire 2 will be the next title. Alright, ladies and gents, I really appreciate your time. So let me know what are your thoughts about remastered games in general, about remastered games in Total War, about anything you really want to... I mean, if you want to just talk about airplanes, just do it on the comment section. I mean, why not? Anyway, let's just get jamming, guys and gals. And hashtag Portugal caralho.